What up, though? And welcome to Free for All Friday. You know how we get down. It's Friday, then hey, it's Saturday, Sunday. What? Hey, it's Free for All Friday. My man Smoking Jeremy hanging out with your man Kurt Steele. We just gonna hang out and have some fun. We're gonna take some questions from the chat, but it is Free for All Friday. We love being here with you. Thank you guys for everyone who showed up and gonna hang out with us. So we like it. Like we said, it's working as Free for All Friday. First up, I got my man Smoking Jeremy B. Say what's up to the people, my man.
What up, Prowl Nation? Don't forget, we're all here because Jim got us started. Let's carry on his legacy. Let's keep this thing rolling. I don't know where they're all at. Where's Dose? Where's Maniac Tim? Where's PC Palo?
Yeah.
Where they at? Where they at?
So if you guys are, it pops up on your line, just hit me up in the private chat, and I definitely hit a comment, and I will definitely send you the link to put you in the show. All right, so my man Smoking Jeremy B. First up, let's get to the first question of the show. How did you celebrate the win over the Vikings on Sunday?
I went to Red Lobster. I had seafood, came back home, and slept like a baby.
Man, you know what? I jumped out of my seat. Was screaming in front of the TV and was scared the hell out of my son. But it was so much fun, man, doing that. It was like, wow. Good morning to the chat. Good morning to let's say hit the people in the chat. You know what I'm saying? You got J Dub says me as well. Connor Hard being going to hang on. So, we appreciate you hanging out. My man, say Sarat Roberts, you know what I'm saying, in the building. You know what I'm saying? Dan Spanos, you know what I'm saying, is definitely in the building. He says, what's up, Sage? J Dub is in the building. Mr. Reliable, Michael Huck, good morning, my guy. So, you know what I'm saying? But I celebrated with a nice cigar and some brown sugar bourbon as well.
Nice.
Had to have one, you know what I'm saying, just relax and smoke the victory dance. You know how we do it. But it was all good. How did you guys in the chat? Let us know in the chat. How did you celebrate the victory on Sunday? Definitely. We want to hear how you guys celebrated. I had people laughing at me at BMW after the win. I was very happy. That all that needs to be said. Yes, a lot of us were happy. Definitely. It was just like so much joy in Buttville. After the win on Sunday, it was so much joy.
Can I give a quick rest in peace to somebody? Because last night we lost one of the great receivers in Broncos history, Demaryius Thomas. He passed away due to seizures in his shower. He's been struggling with them the past year. It's why he retired in the off season. My condolences to him and his family. I mean, it's terrible news to hear, especially someone so young.
Definitely. 33 years old. That was just a tragedy. Brian Stover said he drank a 12-pack. All right. Hey,
way to go, Brian.
That's a good way to celebrate. It was just one of those things. So you celebrate, you look at the win. Ford Field was going crazy. Coach Mike posted a video in our private chat for the DSA, and it was crazy how Ford Field was just bananas. Dr. Detroit's in the building, you know what I'm saying? Lions on the prowl, you know what I'm saying? What's up, the doctor? He is always
we had a quick one come across the screen from Sage Roberts. I wanted to say something about that. You're absolutely right. Our rookies showed up, even the UDFAs. Everybody played well. Nobody played perfect, but they played well. I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown was as close to perfect as you get. 12 targets, no drops, 10 receptions, 86 yards for his second best yardage, and a touchdown for the first one in his career, and a game winner at that.
Yeah, the son got to this thing, man. Amon-Ra St. Brown definitely showed up and showed out in that game on Sunday. So the next topic we're going to talk about right quick as we kind of move along right quick is, do you agree? Now, I'm going to ask you this because this is narrative out there that Sheila Ford Hemp's and Dan Campbell's locker room celebration is this embarrassing because we won a Super Bowl and we only won one game. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. But
number one, what did Dan Campbell say in his first presser? When we win, we're gonna win ugly. We're also gonna lose ugly. Mm-hmm. This was an ugly win, but it was their first win. How do you want them to celebrate? Of course they're going to be excited. Of course it's going to be over the top, especially in week 13. Come on, people, get over it.
Yeah, it's. I think it was that even the guy from Woodward Sports, Hassan Clark, you won them before, like you won a Super Bowl. I was like, no, you have to look at the factors of the game, with the Oxford, the coaching staff were in the Oxford stuff, and how many games we've already lost in the last, walk-off fashion where we've lost 3 games. And then we had a chance to win in Pittsburgh, and the guy kicked a 20-yard field goal, but it was a 40-yard distance. So, I mean, you look at that.
Into the wind.
And we almost lost that game. You think about that. We almost lost that Vikings game. And to come all the way back and do that, I understand why they were so, we didn't have.
And you know what? If the big burrito could kick an extra point, we wouldn't have went to overtime.
Yep, definitely.
Against the Steelers.
Yeah. I think it was a good celebration. People talk, Dan picking up Sheila Foreham. I'm like, dude, Sheila Foreham is freaking tiny. Dan Campbell's huge.
And she actually jumped up into his arms.
Yeah.
She was so excited. And of course you're going to be excited. It's the first win. Now, if they did it 2 weeks in a row and celebrated exactly the same, yes, I would say the second one is over the top.
Yeah, I just think that, it's a lot of firsts. A lot of the first win for a lot of the rookies and UDFAs we have on that team. Jared Goff's first win without Sean McVay. Dan Campbell's first win as a, legitimate head coach. A lot of the assistant coaches out there, first win. And then you look at where it was Sheila Foreham's first win as the primary owner of the principal owner of the Detroit Lions.
Facts.
So I think it was just a great celebration. It was great to me. I mean, all those people who said, well, like you've been there before, but you had so many people who hadn't been there before. How can you act like you've been somewhere and you haven't been there before?
These are the same people that complained that Dan Campbell lost the locker room.
Yeah.
These are the same people that said Dan Campbell should be fired, Sheila Fordham should sell the team, that we should jump the whole roster and start over next year.
Yeah, definitely. It's just bananas with that stuff, man. Let's go to some of the people in the chat. Dan Spano says it's not embarrassing. The media is embarrassing. I think that's correct. I think but that article that was written on sportscasting.com was embarrassing. It's like, are you not even following this team to see what the ups and downs that this teams have went through all year, all the injuries, all the players that let go? It's just a bunch of a negative energy. You look how many stars have went down for the Detroit Lions during this offseason, or during the season, excuse me. You look at it, I think they deserve to celebrate. And just because of the type of victory it was, they deserve to celebrate and celebrate hard. And it's a celebration for one day, one moment, and then you move on. Brian Server said the celebration was great. Were they supposed to be depressed and hang their heads? No, they are not. I appreciate
absolutely that. Brian.
King SJ said, hey guys, I'm sorry I'm late to the show. Hey, don't worry about it. You still here, baby. You
what up, King?
Yeah. Best fans in the league, says Rock Robert said, this league has no idea how loud an arena can get until you host a playoff game. I think that was the last one. I think Jeremy was there when we hosted the last playoff game in
that we won.
Yeah, definitely.
I know how loud it could be. I was half deaf. I had to turn my radio up all the way just to hear the post-game show.
Oh yeah, with that, man, that was just a great. I just think that you get caught up in the emotion, and I think this the type of victory it was. Like we said, almost losing that game. You look at that touchdown late in the game. I believe that it was like, hey, let them go ahead and score. That's my mentality. Was like, let them score. And
that's right, us a chance, Trap City boys. Let's go.
Give us a chance to get down the field. Definitely. All right. So Matt DeYoung said at least there was no tongue when they embraced.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think his
That'd have
wife
been a
or her
bit
husband.
much.
I don't think
a
their
bit much.
spouses would have went for that one. That would have been a little bit too much. Woo. And yeah, that would have been I don't even think about that. This win almost felt like our Super Bowl. I like where we're headed. I think I like the way that we're headed too. You think about this, and I will say this: the way that Dan Campbell is, and the way that he's seen by players throughout the league, and how much people have, what the players love him. People kept telling me he lost the locker room. I never thought he lost the locker room. I just said they went through some growing pains. He coaches with passion and love of the game. So you look at that. I just think that that's just the guy he is. He's in a learning process right now. I've said this before. If kind of followed what I've said the last couple of days since we've been back on air, I think that this team is in that point where, and you can attest to this, Jeremy, because you was in the military. You have what's the difference between a corporal and a sergeant, right? A corporal is an NCO,
but he's not in a true leadership role, whereas the sergeant is in the leadership role. He's the one that brings the pieces together. Yep. All those assistants that he have. Dan Campbell's the captain of this team. The rest of them are as lieutenants and sergeants and corporals, and they're trying to make it cohesive for him so he can lead them. Yeah. Here's the biggest thing that I saw in the last 3 weeks. Prior to 3 weeks ago, the Lions were dead last in wide receiver separation. Dan Campbell comes in, starts calling the plays. After the first week, 3 weeks ago, we jumped up to 28.
Yep.
The next week, we jumped up to 26. Now we're at 25th. In wide receiver separation. And if you look, that is also why Jared Goff has looked better in all 3 of those games. The Steelers, the Bears, and Vikings. Period.
Yep, definitely. And to that point, I'm looking at, it's a difference between being someone who's put in a role as like, okay, you can have this role, but you're not fully in charge, right? So Dan Campbell's an interim coach. Interim coach, you're in charge, but are you really in charge? You're not really making really personal decisions on the staff or anything like that. But you're in charge. But now he's the man in charge. Sheila Foreham, she helped her mother out last year, but she wasn't the principal owner. Now she's the principal owner. She's learning how to do her job. Brad Holmes was the director of college scouting over there in LA. He was not the man. Les Snead was the man. Now he's learning on the job. And look at how many assistant coaches are the first time in those positions, or the coordinator like Aaron Glenn. So these guys are on the job training. They're going to get better.
It's we've talked about this since week 2 when it got bad. How about how much this was a practice squad roster, and it was going to take time for them to gel and come together as a unit. This was the first game we saw all 7 rookies plus 4 of our UDFAs on the field as starters at the same time.
Yep. They're learning to be NFL players. You have to give this team this kind of a reprieve. I didn't think it was going to be a good a season that was going to be where it's going to be a great season in the first place. I never picked them to win over 7 games, and I even kind of switched it down to about 3 to 5. But I mean, we'll see what's going to happen. Playing spoiler is a good role for the Lions right now. Let's go to some of the chat. Definitely, we got some people. Dag the Gur said, "Who's watching the mainstream media anymore?" Not a lot of people. It's not traditional media is really taken over as far as where people get their sports news, and it's just their traditional news is from non-traditional media. YouTube, social media, Twitter, Facebook. So they're coming, and you come here and get your news and rumors for the Detroit Lions right here at Detroit Lions on the Prowl.
Or my show.
Or hey, we are Lion Nation podcast, or you can go over there and check out the Motor City Roars Facebook group and get your news and rumors for the Detroit Lions over there. All right, Pat McAfee is the only, and I don't think he's really mainstream. Being a YouTube show, he's kind of not traditional media. Traditional media's mainstream is like, ESPN, or you talking about print media or something like that. But still, right now, I just don't like the narrative, like the Adam over there at Woodward Sports. I'm like, dude, calm down. I understand
man.
we want to have a team that
I had to quit watching Woodward Sports because of him, because I cannot stand it.
Yeah.
I got tired of the notification and go in there and it's him trashing the team again.
It's like we understand that we want to have a team one day that we, winning is just going to be second nature, but we're not right there right now. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have to go through some lows and cheer them on at no matter what the cost, because if you're not cheering them on, what are they playing for? You know what I'm saying? It's going to be, they're playing for us, the fan base, and we need to be cheering them on at any given moment. So I really appreciate the fans, and I appreciate everyone who's showing up and showing out. We appreciate you right here on Detroit Lions and the Pro. We're going to keep this thing going. Hey, you know who it is. It's your man Kurt Stills, my man Smoking Jeremy B. We holding it down. We doing the 2-man weave today, so that's what we're gonna do. Definitely.
So
let's go ahead.
We're gonna fill as much filler as we can.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So next up, we got the big question. Now, I wanted to hear your comment on this, Jeremy B. When I saw this happen, was Jared Goff winning the NFC Offensive Player of the Week a fluke? Or is it a window into what could be in the future for the Detroit Lions as Jared Goff is the quarterback?
As I said all season, he's not garbage. He's an average to good quarterback. He needed separation to be able to hit wide open receivers. A player getting open is not the same as separation. Mm-hmm. And I've tried to explain that to people. I said, if you got 3 people around a guy within a step, that's open, but that ain't separation. Because Jared Goff is afraid of even his wide receivers fumbling, because when he would throw into those tight windows, because he doesn't have a lot of zip on that ball, that's when fumbles would happen by his wide receivers when he was with the Rams. And that's why he hits people when they have separation. The improvement of separation of the wide receivers is why he looks better. It has nothing to do with his decision making. His decision making has been right, because if you don't have separation, I'm going to throw the check down.
Yeah, definitely. I think you look at the confidence growing. I think that's what was the one we got a little over too confident with the interception to on the Hockenson throw. But he was having some zip. It was more zip on those. In this game, like I said the other day, the quack on that duck.
You see what I'm leaning towards?
Yeah, it was quack because it still was a duck, but it wasn't a slow moving duck.
No, it wasn't a slow moving duck. But he fitted into a couple of tight windows, especially that touchdown pass to Amon-Ra St. Brown. That was the tightest window I've ever seen him throw to in his career.
Definitely. Well, that one earlier in the game to Hockenson was a pretty tight window throw.
And Brock Wright. Coverage, so. I mean, that guy was right on top of him and a guy behind him. He fitted into a little window. I couldn't believe it. And look at how this game went. Look how this game went for Goff, though. Do you know what it reminded me of? The last comeback win we had with Stafford. Start out good, get a lead, third quarter, fall apart, come back and win it at the end of the game. It was the exact same MO as a Matt Stafford one game from behind win. I mean, you could say it's garbage time, but that's not garbage time. That's clutch time. That's go time.
Yeah, that was it. Definitely had that feel to it. I mean, you look at Jared Goff, and people will say what they want to, but one of the biggest shootouts in primetime football history happened between the Rams and the Chiefs, and he beat Patrick Mahomes in that shootout. I mean,
54 to 51
all over the place.
What a game!
There was no defense in that game whatsoever. Do I think that he can sustain this all year? I think that he can play well in the right situations. Is he going to be the man long term in Detroit? I don't know. Maybe not, but I think
the jury's still out on that.
A good bridge quarterback for the next guy. That's what I think. I think they just brought him in kind of do it. I mean, which we'll see. I mean, all you can do is kind of wait till they get out on the field and see what happens. All right, let's go to the comments. All right, Mr. Scotty the Bear, the Frenchman. He said, I am still in shock what Goff did. What a great end to see him move that offense down the field for a victory. I don't think he could have. I didn't think he could do it. There's a lot of people who didn't think he could do it. I mean, but you look at the stretch in that second quarter where he had like 10 completions in a row. He went 11
he
for
started
13.
the game. He started the game rough. I remember the first drive kind of faltered.
Mm-hmm.
They kicked the ball away. They stopped, held them to a field goal again, and then all of a sudden, it was like 5 passes in that touchdown drive in a row. Then it was 5 passes in the next touchdown drive in a row, and then he even started off the second half with 3 more. So it was a total of 13 completions in a row before he had an incompletion.
Yeah, he played really, really well. There was a kind of a lull in that third quarter, coming into that fourth, but they got it back together when it counted. Got a couple of scores in that fourth quarter and went on and win the game. To win the game, definitely was a great time had by all. We talk about Michael Huck says even a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then. Yes, they do.
Oh,
what's
man.
the other one? Even the sun shines. Even the sun shines
on a dog's butt.
Every now and then. Okay, so this Dak DeGer says lose again for Aiden. I'm not tanking for anybody. He said too many people. Sage Robert says so many people on Woodward Sports try to be like Valenti. Too many of my opinion is the only correct opinion. You know what though, and I'll say this about 97 won the ticket. I live in North Carolina. I listen on the Audacity app because of course I don't get that down here. But there's a certain point where I cut off 97 won the ticket. Like I can listen up to the mid-afternoon, and then I cut it off like after that 1 o'clock hour because
as soon as Valenti comes on.
Yeah, once he, I cut it off because and I know why he does what he does because I've actually talked to him and he told me why he does what he does, but that doesn't mean I have to like it and listen to it. Yes, the ratings and and this is how he feels. He said Dan Spano says he should have been the offensive player of the week. You know what, Dan? There's a lot of people who say that. I think,
but he was, and that was voted by the NFL. It has nothing to do with the Lions. It had to do with the NFL said because of what he did in a from behind victory, he got it. We've also said the same thing about Matt Stafford in those situations when he'd get it, that he shouldn't have been it because his stats wasn't as good as this player or that player. Has nothing to do with that. It had to do with the look of the game and what they did to win.
Yeah, he goes into the says Robert says I think Justin Jefferson should have won it over Goff. He handled Amani the whole game. You know what? I agree with you to an extent, but when you lose the game, you can't be the offensive player of the week losing the game. You can't. It ain't gonna happen. You can't be offensive player of the game and you losing your team lost.
Amani only covered Jefferson though 3 plays. The rest of it was Jerry Jacobs.
Well, they play a lot of zone. He maybe lined up across from him. There was a lot of zone coverage in there as well. I have to agree with that, where he lined up across from him, but then he ended up releasing them on some of those throws as well. But I would say this: Justin Jefferson is a hell of a player, and you have to double team that guy. I don't know, because of the fact they should have double teamed him more during that game, because when Adam Thielen went down,
you knew he was the focal point. Him and KJ Osborne was going to be the focal point from there on out. Conklin, the tight end, did okay, but he wasn't a factor in that game because we were actually covering the middle well in zone. It was shocking. I mean, the middle of the field was almost taken away in the passing game, which is where Kirk Cousins flourishes.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so some more comments here. Mr. Scotty the Bear says Goff was not hurrying when he was going through his progressions. Okay, I have not seen that all year.
And you didn't watch the previous 2 weeks because he did the same thing the last 3 weeks in a row.
WTMN TV, which is my man LL Cool Torrance. What's up, my guy? He said, congrats to Goff. You know what I'm saying? How we do it. Our Keith Gates said he had good chemistry with Reynolds. You know what? This passing game has opened up a lot since we've gotten Reynolds. You look at Reynolds was running some good routes. I think he gives him a level of confidence out there for Jared Goff. That's that whoopee we've been talking about. I think the whoopee's finally starting to get Jared Goff a little bit warm, and he's got that security blanket and
that valid deep threat. Yep. The valid deep threat we haven't had since Cephas left. I mean, Khalif Raymond's okay, but he has the dropsies in the deep routes.
Yeah, it can be a little bit of dropsies in the deep routes. Dan Spano says, I can't listen to Valenti at all. I just end up, you know what though? That's why I don't listen to Mike Valenti. And to his credit though, he will dog the Giants. He's a Giants guy. He would dog the Giants out So here's my thing. This is what he told me directly. He said, if I dog my own team out, you guys don't stand a chance in hell here in Detroit. So, but shout out to everyone in the chat. We appreciate you hanging out with us. It's just me and Smoking Jeremy B hanging out. My man, Big West Kevin, and says, "What up, people?" Sorry, I'm late. Hey, you in the party, my dude. We appreciate you.
What up, Big West?
Right here on Detroit Lions. Tristan, my man Tristan Williams says, "What up, Kurt?" Hey, Kurt and Jeremy.
Hey, Tristan, good to see you. Hey, he has a couple pages for Detroit Lions fans as well.
Yeah, Big West. Get the shout out from J Dub as well. Definitely. So it's just really, really about you guys. Hey, if you like more content from us, go over to check us out at DetroitLionsOnTheProwl.com. And while you're there, click that link for LionsOnTheProwlShop.com and get yourself some Prowl Nation gear. I'm rocking that Prowl Nation, the shirt right here today. And you see the logo in the background. If you want to check us out and more content from all of your favorite Detroit Lions content creators, go over and check out Lions Nation Unite. It's the one-stop shop, the ultimate virtual hangout for Detroit Lions fans right there, over there on that app on Lions Nation Unite. So, and one more thing. Hey, it's Christmas time, right? And you doing your Christmas shopping, why not go over to fanatics.com and get yourself and someone, your loved one, some Lions gear. Links in the description. Go ahead and check it out. We have a great time over there, fanatics.com, man. I got the little the fan cash card, man. Go over there. It's a great program. You can earn free gear as long as you shopping right there on fanatics.com. So let's get to the next question right quick from my man Jeremy. All right. What are the keys to victory for the Lions for the upcoming game versus the Broncos?
You want the abridged version or the full version? Because we got a little time.
The full version. We got time. We got time, brother. Give me the full version.
We got to stop that bowling ball that's known as Javonte Williams. We got to keep their wide receivers covered. So, and you're better off in zone because all of them have a little bit of speed than you are in man-to-man. So the zone should work against them. And we got to get pressure on Teddy two gloves. Those three things are the main thing. And hey, shout out, why didn't Charles Harris get Defensive Player of the Week last week? Holy smokes, he showed out.
Yeah, he definitely did.
Be right back.
I mean, all right, for myself, my keys to victory for the Detroit Lions, you're going to have to get, like you said, get pressure on Teddy Two Gloves. But one thing you may have to do is play good coverage. You know what I'm saying? Keep those route receivers at bay. Make Teddy Bridgewater make some tight window throws. He's a decent quarterback. He is not, all world as far as making tight window throws. So, and this is coming from my man LL Coutons as well. Make my man Teddy Two Gloves beat you. Stop the run, cover well, and really make Teddy Bridgewater ball out, and beat the Detroit Lions. You're going to have to step up definitely on the defense. On offensive side of the ball, you're going to have to continue what we had last week. Be balanced, run the ball effectively and open up the passing game. You got a little thin air up there in Mile High Stadium. So you should be able to push the ball down the field through that thin air up there in Denver. So it should be a pretty good game. I'm not calling for it to be a blowout either way, but I think it should be a pretty good tight game. Denver has a good defense. Points per game is not really a big difference. We scoring around 16, they're scoring around 19. So calling for a tight game. You look within one possession of this for the Lions and the Broncos on Sunday. So it's just going to be one of those things. You look at it, it's an afternoon game. It's going to be fun. So, we got a chance to do some day drinking while you're watching this game. So go ahead and give me some questions, definitely in the chat. Let's go to the chat right now. We got Mr. Scotty DeBear say, so could it be Dan Campbell's calling the plays that he's pushing him to do better and trying to push it more down the field? I think so. I think that's one of the reasons why Dan Campbell took over the the offensive play calling. He wanted to see the ball go down the field more. You can only have so much push so much narrative as the head coach when you're not calling the plays. Well, we'll see if Jeremy has to say about this. Jeremy, answer this question right here.
Oh, so could it be because of Dan Campbell calling the plays that he is pushing him to do better? Yes and no. He said all along he wanted Lynn to push Goff to throw it down the field. And even though they said there was no disconnect, there visibly was a disconnect between Goff and Lynn during the games. You could see they would walk away from each other instead of talking together. It was Mark Grunell that talked with Goff all the time in between the play drives. Oh, man, who we got now? Is that our boy?
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, my man. You know who he is. He is the ladies' pet, the men's regret. You ain't seen nothing yet. My man, El Kutos, what's up, my guy?
What's going on, everybody? Good morning, and what's up, Proud Nation?
Yeah.
Hey, LL, it's good to see you, my buddy.
What's going on?
Oh, yeah,
okay, now I'll ask you these last couple of questions right here. So, do you think that it was the Dan Campbell's play calling pushing him to do better and trying to get that ball down the field more is why he's doing better with the deep passing?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I kind of joked around and said before, like maybe that's Dan Campbell when he was saying he wanted to get closer to the quarterback. Maybe it was like so he can threaten him a little bit, and maybe that's what it was. I don't know. I don't know. As I said, this week on the show, I really don't, hope that this means, a lot of bad things for Anthony Lynn. And then I heard Jeremy B. He was just saying about, the situation between, the quarterback and Anthony Lynn. So I don't know, man. I don't know. It's whatever it is, it worked. I don't know. Like you hear people saying it might have been Josh Reynolds, it might be this, it might be that. I honestly don't really know what the difference is. Because, the whole time we've been screaming it don't matter what you do, you just don't miss the guy anyway. So, I don't know. He just started throwing it. He just started focusing on the deep pass more recently. Whatever the reason, I'm glad he's doing it.
Right. Definitely. I also want to say one more thing. All year, he hasn't really thrown the ball deep that much. We're talking, when he did, it was like 15, maybe 17 yards at a time. And now you see him hitting Josh Reynolds 30 yards in the air after he sat and healed up for a week, played a short game, and then played another week off for the bye week. I think that oblique has been bothering him a lot longer than people know about. It just got to a point where it finally affected the game. And that's why they sat him out. And that was because everybody was crying, let the backups in, let the backups in. So we put the guy that had the best review by another team's beat writer, and he came in with straight booty juice.
That's the booty juice. All right, LL, we'll ask you this question right here. What are the keys to victory for the Lions on Sunday versus the Broncos?
Man, a good aggressive play. Denver, man, it's kind of difficult to call Denver because they look kind of different week by week depending on who they playing. So hopefully they won't find a cure to all their ills playing us. We need to just, do what we've been doing to get out to early starts, try to screen game, even if Swift doesn't look like he's going to be back. But, Swaggy is pretty decent in the screen game as well. Stay aggressive. That's, on both sides of the ball. Defensive line is really going to have to, bring their lunch pail with them. I heard Jeremy B say that as well. We got to stop the run game. They really like to run that ball. I've said this before, and it really didn't work out in our favor. I said I liked our matchup, or the matchup between our offensive line our defensive line and Philly's offensive line, and we've seen what happened there. So I want to say that, so I'm not going to say it just in our jinxes, but I think that it could be a different game for us. Like we may be able to control their run game or however it goes, or like we've seen it happen before, it could be very get out of hand kind of early. But like just to answer the question or to reiterate, key to winning this game is stay aggressive, and maybe even if he's healthy, let's get Trinity Benson in there. Maybe he can have a revenge game. Maybe that'll be a breakout game. He can show whatever we thought he was for trading those 2 picks for him.
Okay, I feel you on that one. All right, let's go back to the chat. All right, so as Kevin says, Sheila needs to rip up that contract for the 97.1 game broadcast rights. They just got that thing back, so I don't know if they're gonna rip that thing up, man. That's breach of contract, but I feel you on that one, man. I was surprised they went back because they had so much bad blood between the 97 won the ticket and the Lions. Actually, the Lions tried to get Valenti fired a few times, you know what I'm saying, for his negative view of the Lions, definitely. Here is Tristan says Dan Campbell was remembering the former Broncos wide receiver. We did that earlier. Just shout out, man. It's just such a tragedy with Demaryius Thomas, man. Such a young fella, man. 33 years old. You know, my daughter's 30, so you know, for you lose someone at that young age, you know, it's just terrible. Definitely right here. So our hearts and prayers go out to his family. Big West Kevin and again said we need to blitz Teddy turnover a lot. Teddy turnover, that's a good one. I heard that one. I caught him Teddy 2 gloves, but you know it is. But Michael Hunt says Lions been playing so much better after the Philly disaster. No reason they can't win this one. Hey, we have been playing better. And we've been playing better with a kind of a massive unit. The Lions have been the epitome of next man up all season long. Offensive line, defensive line, wide receivers, running backs, defensive backfield, linebacker. I mean, this all over all levels of both sides of the ball. Even our kicker, we've been next man up all season long. I mean, we've just been playing with a lot of injuries, and it's just crazy to see how much.
Kudos to Riley Patterson. He's done well.
Yeah. Riley Patterson's done really well. I like the way he's kicking the ball. Definitely. The Detroit fan man says, "Was it Lynn in the booth upstairs?" I believe that Lynn's been in the booth upstairs. Yeah, I think that's. But
last 2 weeks in a row, he's been in the booth.
Yeah. Even on the side, even if he was on the sidelines, there's been a lot of games where, believe it or not, I mean, you've seen this. If you've been watching the games, you've seen it. Jared Goff was sitting by himself. Like people were like, "Man, I ain't messing with that dude, man." I mean, he would just kind of sit on there by himself, twiddling his thumbs because, maybe, I mean, he pissed a lot of his teammates off. So he was one of those things. I mean, he pissed a lot of people off. So the dudes didn't want to mess with him. Dak DeGer says, "I want to see Deuce Staley finish a year as the offensive play caller to see how he does. Is Deuce the next OC? Need the data." What do you guys think about that? Would you like to see Deuce Staley as the next offensive coordinator if Anthony Lynn leaves?
All he's been as a running backs and assistant head coach. We haven't seen him do any play calling even at Philly yet because they didn't get rid of their OC mid-season during their bad season. So I would like to see it because I would like to see the type of run plays he would call, but I'm afraid of what he would do in the passing situations, what type of plays he'd call there, just because he hasn't done it before.
Yeah, definitely. What do you think, my man, LL?
Well, I like it. I mean, well, I don't know. I honestly still, I hope that this ain't over with for Anthony Lynn, even though I guess that's what it's looking like. But I mean, whatever's clever. If it looked good, you know, or maybe even you know how some teams have a run game coordinator, so maybe not necessarily give him the full, you know, play calling abilities, but maybe something like that. You know, maybe let him, you know, be in charge of that type of stuff. However it goes, let's just not get so enthralled with. I already know. I heard you say it earlier, Kurt. You know, you don't really want to tank, but let's not get too happy here. You know, we playing for something. We playing for no one pick, so let's just keep our eyes on the prize here.
Yeah, definitely. It's just one of those things where I'm not really with Deuce Staley. I don't have I agree with that degree. I don't have enough data to say I want him to be our offensive coordinator. I don't have it. You know what I'm saying? The guy's been a running backs coach, but I don't know what type of play caller he is. What kind of system would he bring to Detroit? Would it be just a rebuild of what we already have? I don't have enough information on him as a play caller, or even as a person who knows the offense as far as multiple. I know he's the assistant head coach right now, but I don't know how much he knows of the offense itself to be a play caller. You know, how would he be in the pass game? would he need a pass game coordinator as an offensive coordinator? Because it's kind of things that's kind of like a lot of variables that's working with that. But hey, that's an interesting question. Definitely. Sage Roberts says, as long as he doesn't become head coach of the Bears, I'll be happy. Yeah. I think Matt Nagy is going to be gone. I think it's his last year. And I think this may be Mike Zimmer's last year in Minnesota. I think he, if he'd have lost that game last night, I would have sealed his future. Definitely in
that defense. I can't believe how bad it fell apart in the second half. It was dominating that first half. They looked unstoppable, and then all of a sudden they just fell apart and let everybody run right through them, pass over them, and everything.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so here's some of the questions, some of the statements about some of our defensive, of our assistants. Dan Spanner says, I don't want Aaron Glenn to go anywhere. Neither do I. I think he's working wonders with a mashup unit, definitely. Big West Kevin says, I predict Ben Watson OC next year if we hire within. That's cool. All right. Aaron, Dr. Detroit said maybe we hire Aaron Glenn in 2023. That means that Dan Campbell's gone. I don't know if Dan Campbell's going anywhere right now. I think that's Sheila Ford Hemp's guy. I think she gonna rock with him for a while. I don't see him going anywhere. I know you're joking, Dr. Detroit. Dr. Gurr says Deuce will probably leave if he doesn't get the OC job. You think so? After 1 year?
I don't think so. I think he's liking what he has to work with in the running back department as the running back coach. I have the feeling that we're going to see a two-headed OC next year because after what happened with the Anthony Lynn play calling, I don't think they're happy with him. I wouldn't mind if they go college and bring in an OC from there like Josh Gaddis or even the head coach Luke Fickell.
Yeah, leave my man Josh Gaddis at Michigan.
I know. I want him there too. But I would love to see him come to the Lions because he's doing some wonders with a roster that wasn't expected to do much.
Definitely. All right, let's see. Keep in the
I
chat.
wonder what did Anthony Lynn do? What did Anthony Lynn do that was so bad that he had to? You know what I'm saying? That this is what becomes of him.
Play calling.
I would say maybe play calling, or maybe it was some kind of disconnect in communications between Dan Campbell and what he wanted and what his vision was of the offense and what Anthony Lynn was doing as a play caller. Because Dan Campbell, he's the head coach, and he say, "Hey, I want this to be done this way." And if he's not doing it, okay, all right. So I done told you what I want. I done told you what I want multiple times, and hell, we're not getting it done. So what you need to do, hand me over the play sheet. I'm going to take a look at the plays, and I'm going to call it myself. Since you don't want to call what I want you to call, I'm gonna call it myself. That may be what happened. I mean,
I guess, but I guess more so. I don't want to see this, this to be the end for Anthony Lynn. That's all.
Because Anthony Lynn did the same thing he did as the OC of Buffalo that got him fired from there. He would start out running the ball in the first half, go away from it, teams go ahead of them, and he can't get back because he's not running the ball. Then he becomes the head coach over there at San Diego / LA Chargers, and you got a prolific rookie quarterback like Justin Herbert who was lighting it up, and they couldn't finish games because they didn't have a run game in the second half. Same thing again. It was the play call.
Their defense was giving up a lot of stuff too, though. That's why they went, with a defensive.
Because the other defenses, all they had to do is make that offense go 3 and out.
Yeah. I just don't blame him for what was wrong here. That's maybe
Yeah,
you already know who I is.
Let's go to some more to chat. I know you go say it was Goff. All right. Yeah. Brian Stover says we finally found our future kicker, Riley Patterson. I think he may be here to stay. All right. Jay Dub says our keys to victory is in Denver is getting our players over the flu. Hey, we'll see that. Hey, I feel you. All right. Dr. Gurr said Kurt had a daughter when he was 8. I tried to say Kurt looks young. Dude, I'll be 50 here in about a month. So
welcome to the half a century club, brother.
Yeah. So thank you. I really appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where, you know, my mom looked in her 30s, well into her 50s. So I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Steve-O, I haven't heard from you. Know, I got a feeling that Ben Johnson is going to be promoted to OC next season. That's the second time we've kind of heard that. Well, no, was that Ben Watson? Was it Ben Watson, Ben Johnson? I don't know. All right, he's really the passing game coordinator right now. I mean, we'll see. Jack Waters, Micro Mike talked about it last night on the Detroit Lions. Okay, what did he talk about? Am I missing it? Okay,
probably Ben Watson.
I'm talking about that. The Ben Watson, Ben Watson thing. Okay, you know, we'll look at that. Okay, hey, all right. So let's look at this. Let's get this last question before we kind of get into some more of the comments. Definitely. All right. So I want to hear this definitely from you guys. All right. So who wins tonight and who wins on Sunday, and what's the score going to be? So who wins and what's the score?
Well, we've said all year we've been waiting for another game where they score over 20 points since the 49ers game, and it finally happened. It was 29. That's damn near 30 points. So I expect a low-scoring game, but I do expect the Lions to score over 20. I want to say they're going to win 24-21 or 24-20.
Okay, 24-20. That Denver offense struggled last week and scored 9 points. So
they were up against a really good defense, though.
Yeah, definitely. All right, man, LL, what you got? Who wins and what's the score?
Well, you know, on the show earlier this week, I predicted yesterday, I believe 17-17 tie. But you know, hearing my guy Smoking Jeremy B, you know, with the over 20 points, and I really like that. So I'm gonna go with 24-24, still a tie.
Hey,
he's still
2 ties is a win, but that, believe it or not, if we get 2 ties, that might have put us at eliminated. Yeah, because there is still that snowball's chance in hell that we make it.
Yeah, and then we look
I mean, see, I'm playing for the number 1 draft pick here. I feel like y'all may still be trying to get into the playoffs. I admire you guys, you know, tough-heartedness and, you know.
Dan Campbell said he wants to play spoiler, and the Denver is a bubble team.
Yeah.
That's fine, definitely. But, you know, don't spoil your own chances at, you know, I don't know, man. Whatever.
You know what, though? I will tell you this, though, right here. Looking at this draft class, to be honest with you, I don't want the number 1 pick. I don't want the number 1. But I rather take the second pick or the third pick. To be honest with you, to be honest with you, I would
remember. And I don't. And then let me say this too, because it's a few teams with a couple of top 10 picks possibly. Mm-hmm. So, you know, maybe, you know, if one of those guys want to do something, but I don't know, man. The players I got my eyes on, they're not gonna be there if we trade back. So
I'm looking at 2 or 3, something like that. Then you run that where you can run that kind of that you can get some more, you know, draft capital. You know, when people are trying to trade up to get some of the guys that they want. That's is my thing. But because we already talked about it the other day, there McShay and Mel Kiper Jr. said there is not a quarterback worth trading up for this draft. So that's why I don't think that the number 1 spot is maybe not be as advantageous as it has been in the past.
And
they also said there's barely one worth a first-round pick.
Yeah, there isn't.
Right.
There isn't a lot.
So nobody's gonna trade up unless well, you know what, I'll say nobody's gonna trade up until at least the combine, because I feel like one of those guys is gonna put up some crazy numbers, and then that's gonna solidify somebody.
Have they announced
number 1, or there should be number 1 pick, or however it goes?
I thought because of the pandemic it was going to be another pro day thing, that they weren't doing the combine again.
I think you're right. I wasn't even. I'm just thinking about just normal time of year, not taking into consideration the circumstances. But no, you're right.
Yeah, definitely. All right, my final score. Who wins and what's the score? I'm gonna say I'm going to say 24. I think I said this earlier. I think it's like 24-20 Lions. I think it's going to be one of those games. I'm picking with my heart. I'm not picking with my head right now. We'll see if the Lions can exploit that defense. We definitely need to, exploit the matchups with the linebackers. I think that the game plan we had last week, I don't think you test their corners a lot, especially like with Patrick Surtain the second. You don't test them a lot, but you test those linebackers and you test that slot. But the outside guys, I think you leave those guys alone, definitely. All right, so next up, we're going back to the comments, definitely in the chat. Lyle Schultz, and I think this is coming from the question we asked earlier about the celebration from the locker room. He says there will always be negative feedback. I thought it was great. I did too. All right, so it definitely, I think it was a great, you just kind of live in the moment, and I think that's what they did. Dr. Detroit says, I would like to hear Steve-O's opinion on the Proud Daily. Hint Kurt and Steve-O. Okay, we'll see. If I can get, if you want to do some things. But let's get into these score predictions. All right, so we got Michael Hook says 24-20. I didn't even see that. Okay, we Michael, the great mind think alike. Definitely. You look at some more. We got Denver 21, Detroit 20. That's my man, Big West Kevin, and how he holds it down. Mr. Scotty the Bear, the Frenchman, he's going big time. He's saying Lions 28, the Broncos 13. That's a 2-touchdown victory. All right. The laughter from
I gotta head out,
says 24-20. Okay, all right, my man, Spoken Jeremy. We appreciate you hanging out with us right quick. Right here on Detroit Lions and the Proud Free for All Friday. Thank you for hanging out with us, man. And you take it easy.
It was a blast. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Hey, thanks for hanging out. All right, my man. All right, so now we're gonna take some more comments here from the chat, my dude. We got Daniel Davis says, I always hope we win, but I never expect them to. I don't think we win any of our remaining games. So he's saying 24-17 Broncos. We got Dag the Gur says Lions 10, Broncos 16. That's 16 is a weird score. That's kind of what you think so? 16 that's a weird score for a football game.
I don't know. That's a Lions score. We didn't score. I don't know how many times, if we've done it more than once, but that's 16-19 range a couple times this year. Mm-hmm. That's like our zone so far, it seems.
Okay, definitely. You're looking at that. So, we were talking about like you're looking at the draft. So if you got the number 1 overall pick, who are you picking, my man?
I'm gonna go right now today, outside of any pro day numbers and all that, once those numbers start coming in, I'm gonna go Aiden Hutchinson.
Aiden Hutchinson? Okay.
Yeah. All right. But, I mean, either one of those guys I feel would be probably great here.
All right. Let me know in the chat who you want for the Lions if they get the number 1 overall pick. Who do you think the Lions should pick for the number 1 overall pick if they get it? We got Troy saying Big Hutch. We got Sage Roberts saying Hutchinson.
What about you, Kurt?
Me, I don't want the Lions to have the number 1 pick. I would if I'm picking second or third. I'm taking Hamilton out of Notre Dame, and that dude is a game changer. That dude.
My only thing with Hamilton, and I'm right, I wouldn't mind him, but you gotta have a pass rush for a player like him. I think to be most effective,
man, but Notre Dame's pass rush ain't that great.
No,
Notre Dame they ain't got a really good pass rush.
I'm talking about for him to I don't know.
Yeah, I feel you. Okay, so 28-24 Lions for J Dub says second, third, or fourth pick is fine for me. Yeah, I think so. I think I think that this draft is just going to be kind of crazy. Troy said we need another sack star, a sack star. Excuse me. Hamilton is a baller. He's good enough safety to force covered sacks. I kind of get that.
No.
Big West Kevin says
and he hurt.
Oh, yeah. I'll trade back and take Hamilton. This dude is the best safety I've seen since Cam Chancellor. Wow, that's a big that's a big endorsement saying he's just as good as Cam Chancellor. And that dude's one of the best safeties in the league for a while.
And Seattle had that front
man with
Seattle
Earl Thomas
something
yeah, then you had that front seven. And the one of the guys I hated that was on that was I didn't hate him because I hated he was on that front seven was my the dude that came from Detroit, man. I hated that we lost him this year to Seattle, man. That was my dude, man. So so we got some more people in the chat. So Hamilton is the best talent in the draft. I think so. It says Aiden Hutchinson was his pick for J Dub. Michael Huck says the second or third pick is good, guaranteed. Thibodeau, Hutchinson, or Hamilton. I believe in that. Hutchinson, Subsy, Trap City Boys, Entertainment. Dan Spano says Hamilton all the way. We play Chicago, Green Bay, and play Chicago and Green Bay every year, both outdoors, not including the rest of the league. I think this is a comment for if you look at that, sometimes you want that a good defensive lineman because you're gonna have to stop the run. Not a lot of passing during those cold times of the year if we're playing outside. Luckily, this season, on a bad season, we didn't happen to have a good time when we had the games that we usually play outside, or the teams play outside. We were playing in the dome. It's gonna be unseasonably warm this year in Denver for Sunday's game, but we weren't able to take advantage of playing in Green Bay, playing in Chicago, playing in the early part of the year where we could take advantage of the weather. We got to do better with that, but I think so, definitely.
Somebody, and I know that comment wasn't necessarily pertaining to this, but yeah, we got those quarterbacks in our division. They probably won't be there. Well, we got that one quarterback in our division. He probably won't be there that long. Might not be there after this season, but this league, man, you gotta be able to go get the quarterback, man. And if we had a better front seven situation, I would say go for Kyle Hamilton. And even if we end up with Hamilton, I won't be mad. But right now I'd rather take a pass rush.
Okay, I feel you. All right, Dr. Gurr says need defensive line over safety. In my opinion, take the guy least injury prone. True. Hey, I agree with that. I'm not saying that you asked me what my opinion was. That's why I said Daniel Davis says in case we don't get the first pick, guys like George. I don't know this name, Karlaftis. Oh, okay, that guy out of Purdue. That's also man, Luke G was talking about this guy the other day out of Purdue. Kingsley Ingber out of Drake Johnson out of USC. Sanders from Cincinnati. Maybe good guys to get for edge rushers. You're going to have a plethora of defensive talent in this upcoming draft. So it's just one of those things you're going to be able to have your kind of king's ransom if you can pick well in that first couple of rounds. And you look at that, we have those, we're picking, within that first, if we get that first overall pick, I mean, you're picking first, you get 3 picks in the top, 33, 34 picks. So,
yeah,
I mean, something like that. So, hey, that's good. All right, now it's time for final thoughts, my man. All right, Ella, give me your final thoughts on this week heading into Denver.
Final thoughts, man. I just want to say, I said in the chat yesterday on the in the premiere, but let's say 75% facetiously. Can you really call yourself a fan of a team if you never wanted them to lose at least once? Like if you're like, man, if you don't say that you hate the team or you hate players on the team, or when I say hate, I don't really mean hate. I mean, just don't really like them as a professional athlete or however it goes. Just want to be petty about it, however you want to call it. But I don't want this team to win. If we could just we go back to and play different clips where I didn't want the number one pick. I didn't want that situation. I didn't want to be the worst team in the league, but the worst team in the league kind of chose us. We didn't choose to be the worst team in the league. It kind of chose us, I guess. So, you might just got to lean into it this one time, man. Go if that is the way to get it, and you can actually do it that way. We've seen it work that way before. Let's give it a shot, man. We just see the Lions go about things a whole lot of times, or a lot of different ways, a lot of different times, and we ain't never really had it like this, to where, you know, in a situation where all of these things that are happening right now are what we're happening in. So I don't know, man. Whatever happens, whatever's clever. You know, I'm not gonna not root for him. I say whatever I say. I might talk a whole bunch of junk, but you know, whatever it is, number 1 pick, number 15 pick, whatever it is, pick a good player. If we got to beat Denver, you know, we might can't even beat Denver and beat a few more teams and still them with the number 1 pick. So who knows? Let's, you know, go out, put your best foot forward. Jared Goff, you know, if he deserved it this week, go out and deserve it again. And you know, we might play well and still lose. So who knows? Whatever. I'm hoping for the tie. A joke, of course, but you know, however it goes. And you know, it's the weekend. You know, be safe. The weather should be, you know, I guess a little bit better outside of, you know, I heard we're supposed to get a bunch of wins. So, you know, stay safe, stay warm, and have a great weekend.
All right. Hey, you know who we are. We are Detroit Lions on the Prowl. You're home for Detroit Lions News and Rumors. And for everyone who came and hung out with us right here on a Free for All Friday, we definitely appreciate you chilling out with the crew right here from Detroit Lions on the Prowl. I talked to Val and my man, Maniac Tim. They should be back for next week's Free for All Friday. They're dealing with some technical issues, so hopefully we can get that fixed and we can get them back on the broadcast for next week. Hey, we really appreciate you hanging out with us, and go Lions. We know we're gonna support our team, and like we always say, whatever you do in life, you know what you got to do, baby. You got to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. For my man LL, this is Kurt Steele, and we will holler at you real soon. We love you, Jim.
You.